With the amp screwed down, I can show you what I was talking about with the distribution block, power, ground. The fuses are in place. This one here is going to be for the amp that's going to sit here. Speaker wires are going out. The DSP is going to be raised up just a little bit to clear all of this. I've pre-drilled the holes here for the RCAs. Once get those put in, that'll be the last thing we'll do. I want to get all of this other stuff kind of in place before I worry about that. Power wire is zip tied and in, along with remote turn on. This one is done. I'm going to remove some of the tape and get this other one here on top of it. But before I do that, I need to prep all the wire and get that taken care of. I put together some power and remote turn-on wires for this amplifier as well as the C1 that's up in the side panel. I have to get these in place before I do this amplifier because, well, one, you have to screw the wires in from the bottom, and two, I wouldn't be able to get to this area once this amplifier is put into place to attach the wires down. We also have two 0 gauge that are going to come across this back piece here, and I have to pre-drill those holes as well. When this is here, I won't be able to get to them. This is going to be a very interesting install as far as getting this into the car and getting everything in and connected, just because of how weird these amplifiers are to connect. Realistically, this amplifier needs to stay out until this is in the car. However, because of the way the power wires have to come in, it's gonna be a very fun thing to do, we'll just say that. The holes are drilled, and it's just a matter of putting these zip ties in. The other thing that I have to do also, that I've been thinking about, is I'm adding in two smaller fuse holders off of the fourth one here. One to power the DSP, one to power the Zen. And I need to make sure I put these fuse holders someplace easy to get to. My initial thought was to put them down here, and then that occurred to me that, yes, I can get to them right now, but once this big amp is in here, I'll never be able to get to those fuses. This is one of those things where I have to think and move and change and adapt just because of the difficulties of how the amplifier is designed with the difficulties of trying to get them to fit into the car. So it's kind of like a perfect storm of headache going on right now, which is okay. It's okay, we'll work through it and get it to do what we need it to do. A little bit of time has elapsed since the last cut that was like that. The reason for that is this was an intense amount of stuff that had to be done, and I really had to focus on it because I had to make sure I got things installed in the order they needed to be in order for this whole assembly to work. The inputs are attached to this, and how we're going to access it, if you'll notice, this now has a towel on it. We had to pull the tape off. Is we're gonna flip it like this. The DSP had to be slidden into place and then connected and zip tied in with all of its inputs that are located on this side. And then the RCAs all had to be put in, so this piece had to be loose and kind of move around. Then we could screw the DSP into place, we could screw these into place and get them where they needed to be. And all of that had to be done with this amp sitting here like this because I zip tie the speaker wires down underneath the DSP and they all come off over here. DSP is sitting on risers so that they can pass safely underneath it. So those all had to be put into place before we could put the DSP in. This is insert A to B to C to D, and you had to build it that way. So I was really hyper focused on doing that. That's why I apologize why we don't have a great time lapse of all this getting wired up, because it was a lot of thought going into it and making sure that we could, as simple as this looks, get it to function. These zip ties here that aren't going to anything are for the 0 gauge that's going to go into place once we get it into the car. The battery rests up against here, so I had to get these in and pushed into place before we get it into the car, because once it's there, it can't slide forward enough to do that. And then as you just saw, the amp flipped over, and the amp actually has to slide off of the end here so that I can get to the Allen keys on the bottom to put the power, ground, and remote in. That'll be the last thing that we do on this once it's into the car. Yeah, so there's a lot going on as far as just trying to get this in, and that's not to say once I get it in the car I don't have to take it back apart, which I'm probably gonna have to because I need to get to this bolt underneath here. If I can get to it, there is some room off of this end. I might be able to get in there and get it in, so that's my hope. Otherwise I'll have to pull these screws back off, twist this, get it in, twist it back into place. Yeah, these holes are pre-drilled, so I do have room to run the zip ties on this side and get it all fastened out. So this has been a lot of fun getting to this point. And then once we're done, we can flip this over and very carefully set all these where they need to so that this will slide into place, and then it'll screw down. When this is screwed down, I'm gonna be super excited because then we know we're almost there. Almost, because we still have to get the C1 on the side connected, but I have the RCAs, I have the power wire going off to that. That'll be a lot simpler than dealing with this. The step now is to lift this in to the car, get it in there, and start addressing some of those issues like getting the zero gauge into place and whatnot. So I'll meet you guys in the car. And just like that, they are both in, screwed down, secured. The wires for the two passive crossovers here are connected. Fernando is working on getting all our speaker wires connected into the factory harness, and the fiber optic cables connected to the Zen are all done. Everything is zip tied into place. Our two USBs, and one is for the Zen if we need it, and the other one is for the DSP, are located here. There again, we have this cool pocket right here that we can get in and grab those in order to tune it. Zero gauge is zip tied into place. Got the amplifier screwed in and all our wires zip tied down. This piece here is the runner. It's basically that. Needed to test fit it to make sure that everything would go in and it would clear. We don't want it sitting on anything. We have a big zero gauge wire that's coming, but there's nice amount of room for it to snake around. And then these two wires here are the power and ground going to the C1, which is going to mount right here. And that's what I'll be working on next, to get that in and keeping the system moving along. But just having these in place really, whew, man, that's a load off for sure. It's a lot of work getting those two amplifiers to fit down inside of that little cavity. Some time has elapsed between the last little bit here in the trunk and now. We've actually had this for 4 or 5 days. Last night we stayed to make sure, well, we were at a point where it was like, okay, before we leave tonight, it has to make sound. I was just, you know, you set these little benchmarks for yourself. Seagulls. You set these little benchmarks for yourself so that you can kind of keep everything in pace. Like, you need to have this done by today, this done by, you guys understand that. So it was more important to get sound going than film it. But it's okay, we didn't go too far, we didn't skip ahead too far. Really the only thing that we needed to get done was, like we said, mounting the C1 amplifier into the side panel. Fernando finished connecting the wires. So let me show you what we got done last night to get to the point where we could hear it. The C1 amplifier got mounted into place. We also, these bundle here, these guys, are the factory amplifier plugs, and we test fitted to make sure that this panel will go back in, and also any of the other wires we had to route. While working on it, the amplifiers are covered, and as expected, we did have to take it apart last night and flip the amplifier up. We got to test my theory on if this was going to be serviceable. It's a pain in the butt, but it's totally serviceable. Yeah. I put the remote turn on in the wrong spot on the T-Spec distribution block, so to get to it, I didn't put it here where it's supposed to go. I had put it down underneath, so my bad. One of the things we did last night too is polarity checks. So for some of you go, hey, you didn't show polarity checks. I know, and we've shown it in a lot of videos. For those of you that aren't familiar with what polarity check is, we take the PT9A Plus, or in this case, we have the Audio-Tech Fisher version of it, which is the PTK1 polarity tester. Play the pop, pop, pop track. That'll tell you green or red which way the speaker is moving. And Fernando got them all right, so good on him. He did a great job. We also checked left, right, made sure tweeters, mid, everything was playing the way it should. The goal this morning to kind of finish this up is gonna be interesting. If you hadn't noticed, this video's been filmed a little bit different than it normally would be. We have to get the driver's side of the car back together, basically the cabin, portion of the car back together. And then our buddy Jeff Smith is gonna come by because Audio-Tech Fisher just released the new 5.0 software for the DSP. He is way more familiar with it than I am, and he didn't want to miss the opportunity to play with this system. He's a big Audio-Tech Fisher fan. He runs the stuff in his car. Well, sometimes he varies. He moves stuff in and out. He's almost as bad as Fernando when it comes to the lab. But anyways, he's a big fan of the stuff. He knows the software better than I do. So I was like, hey man, you want to come play and also teach me the new software? Instead of having me sit here and struggle with it, he's like, yeah, sure, love to. But before he gets here, we have to get all this stuff done.